It's the giveaway. It's the giveaway. So first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for everybody for liking and subscribing and commenting on these videos, because that's ultimately what keeps this channel going. We're getting bigger and bigger and bigger as this company grows, and so we're gonna give away something even bigger this time. It's time to give away a PSC bow. All you guys have to do to win this thing is the same thing that you've been doing. Like and subscribe to our channel, like every video, and comment. And you can comment as many times as you want. And when we go through and we pick, the more comments that you have or the more likes that you have, along with being subscribed to this channel, only improves your odds of winning this bow. We're literally giving someone a free bow, okay? Just to like and subscribe this video. So if you guys are interested in free stuff, and you didn't win this bow this time around, you didn't win these Vortex binos, you're still entered. Just stay engaged with the channel, keep liking the videos, keep commenting on them, and it's gonna help you win maybe trail cameras in the future, tree stands, things like that. What is up, people? So today we're gonna go over some very important topics, super important topics. We're gonna hit them at the ground level, and we're going to talk about some real basic things to me and you, or maybe not to you at all, that I see a lot of people doing, and they're royally screwing up their properties. Now, don't get me wrong, guys, we can make a list so long, and we can make this 20 topics long. We're gonna hit a couple of the core ones, and I'm sure you guys could add more, and if you could add more, go ahead and throw them down in the comments. I'd be interested to see what you guys think are some of the biggest screw-ups that some people make on their properties. So thankfully, obviously I do this for a living. I travel around the country. I go to people's hunting properties, help them design them and figure out the properties, understand topography, figure out the features in which the properties are lacking. We try to improve upon the property, give them a long habitat management plan, the ultimate plan just to get deer to spend more time on your property and just have a more successful property so that you can meet all your goals as a hunter. While doing this, while traveling the country, whether it's, today we were in Illinois, we saw a couple things, Kentucky, Michigan, Wisconsin. I see them in every state. And on a basic level, there are a few that definitely catch my attention. And these are all things that before we ever worry about timber stand improvement, or we ever worry about planting food plots, or we ever worry about so many other things, even, stand placement, there are things even before that we got to worry about. And a lot of times if you're not following these steps or you're not doing these things correctly, none of that stuff matters. And so I see it a lot. Everybody puts that perfect food plot in, but they're screwing up on one of these prior topics that we're going to hit on. And it's just, you're not going to reap the benefits of your property unless you're doing all those little things right. Yeah, you can go put in a food plot. Yeah, you can go do timber stand improvement, all these things. If you're not doing the little things right, none of that matters. So let's get into it. The number one thing, or the most important thing, maybe I'm not seeing it the most often, but I am seeing it. The worst thing that people can do on their property, and a lot of times you deal with a little bit more of the old school type guys, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Something as simple as playing the wind. I know a lot of you guys are laughing right now, and some of you are thinking, I get away with it. I use scent lock, I use scent spray, I use ozone. The reality of the situation is this, guys. Those things do very little, if anything, to eliminate your scent. Here's the science behind that. So a deer has about 250 to 270 million 250 to 270 million olfactory glands on average. A human has about 5 million, okay, give or take. So what does that mean? That means that a deer can smell about 50 times better than you. So what that translates into is, you have to play the wind, because these scent control products, even if, they make a difference to your nose, it's such a minute, small difference, it's not going to make a big enough difference where it's going to allow you to play the wrong winds and go in and hunt certain places. There's things you can do. You can hop in enclosed blinds. You can speed up access on an e-bike, which allows your wind to disperse, less, because you made a quicker access to your tree stand location. But ultimately, none of those things are magic tools or should be looked at as magic tools. Other than playing the wind. Keep the wind in your favor. Like I tell clients, if at any point you think your wind is going to blow where you think the deer are going to come from, you probably shouldn't hunt that stand that day. So playing the wind is a huge one. Let's go back to ozone for a second. Ozone generators, not a big fan of them. If I had to be honest, they do kill bacteria to a certain extent. They don't eliminate it 100%. I can tell you that for a fact. I have a friend, he knows who he is, and I giggle about this a little bit. I have a friend who used a very powerful ozone generator. And this guy, let's face it, some people just smell a little bit more than others. And this guy, we were out hunting early season. We did a lot of hiking, and your clothes get sweaty and they get nasty. And you're like, okay, let's put this to the test. Let's put this this industrial, not over the counter typical ozone generator that people sell for hunting. We got an industrial one. Put it in a cedar closet with his clothes overnight to kill the bacteria. We could smell it. If we could still smell his clothes, what were the deer smelling? So not only that, I mean, to a certain extent, they're not killing everything. I know there is science proving that it does kill bacteria, but it doesn't kill the scent that the bacteria caused already. I don't know, and maybe I'm a little off on that. Regardless, here's what I can tell you. It still smelled. And even so, ozone itself does put off a scent. And what happens when all of a sudden deer get downwind of your ozone, whether it's that pesky doe that you had no plans of shooting or anything like that, and they correlate that scent with some sort of negative occurrence, some sort of human interaction. Well, you know as well as I do, if you've used an ozone generator, there is a scent to it. It might kill your scent, it might try to do whatever it's supposed to do, but at the end of the day, it's still emitting a scent, and it's just another scent that can be learned by whitetails. And ultimately, they can associate it with a negative occurrence and bust you. I guess the thought process behind it is maybe the first time that deer smells it and it throws them for a loop, maybe that's the time you get the kill. I can understand that. But regardless, guys, all these things should be put to the wayside. Play the wind. Simple as that. If you're not playing the wind, especially as a bow hunter, you need to think about it. And I would guarantee you that the day you start playing the wind is the day that your odds probably get about 50% better when it comes to killing mature deer. Now, you're gonna get those young deer occasionally and they're not gonna know any better, but if you're really trying to go after big bucks, even 3-year-old deer, you really gotta start playing the wind, guys. So let me take that one step farther, okay? The next thing that I see, let's say I went to a client's property and this imaginary client, he's not playing the wind, okay? Well, the next step that I'm gonna teach him is to play the wind during your access route. Now, this can get tricky. This isn't just some basic topic, because it depends. If you have topography, the wind flows differently, then you got to factor in thermals, all these different things. But if you can eventually get on a high enough level where you can understand all those concepts and theories and apply them to your particular property, you're gonna be able to cheat the wind and get into certain places you would think you never would be able to. Just because it says it's a northwest wind on the weather app doesn't mean it's northwest wind on your property. So you maybe can manipulate habitat and use terrain in a certain way to get in and out of your property. But on a more basic level, when accessing your property, at any point, if you think that your wind, once again, is going to blow where the deer are, even during the access, you're not invisible during the access, guys, and you're not scent free. Like, it's not like a get out of jail free card where you can just walk to your stand on the dead wrong wind, get in it, and be fine. I mean, you can still screw it up. Now, it's not as likely because there's less time in which your scent is being dispersed because you're walking to the stand. It's not like the 3 hours where you're sitting in the stand. Obviously, sitting in the stand is probably more important, but access is still really important too. If you blow them out before you ever get there, then let's face it, the hunt's already over before it ever started, and these deer can smell you from hundreds of yards away on the perfect conditions. And in that scenario, the hunt's already over, like I said. So you kind of shot yourself in the foot. So the most basic way to help people understand this is that if at any point you look at your maps and you say today's a northwest wind, southwest wind, whatever, if at any point my wind is going to cross the bedding area or cross the trail that the deer might intersect upon before I get my shot, it's not going to work. You know, it might be a little bit of a risky wind, and let's say you're hunting the rut and the does come through first and they get downwind and that buck's 50 yards behind. Well, the hunt's over because those does busted and you never got a shot at that buck. These are all things that you have to try and create. These scenarios you have to try and create in your head. Are you always going to be spot on? No, but you got to take your best educated guess at using access routes properly and playing the wind during your access routes. Okay, so now we're talking about playing the wind during your access routes. If you do that, guys, you're getting up into a top tier hunter. You're doing all the things that a top tier hunter would do. There are plenty more things and plenty more topics that we can go over. But the next one that I wanted to hit on, and the last one for this video that I want to hit on, is, okay, we've learned to play the wind. Okay, we've learned to access on the correct winds. But if we keep going to the same exact stand, if you're laying down ground scent, walking in, doing all these things, you're educating deer. And ultimately, if you overhunt the same stand over and over and over again, you're just shooting yourself in the foot because you are educating deer. Once again, deer can smell about 50 times better than a human. So what does that mean? That means even though you might not have gotten busted during the hunt, you laid down ground scent. You laid down some sort of scent. Your clothes brushed up against twigs. You're educating deer. And those deer can smell that 6, 7, 8, 10 hours later, depending on the conditions. So if you keep going to the same stand and keep overhunting the same stand over and over again, you're shooting yourself in the foot, guys. So put all the puzzle pieces together, play the wind, work on your axis, and don't keep hunting the same stands. Now, what does that mean? Maybe you have an array of stands across the property. Maybe you go to different properties just to spread out the pressure. Maybe you get a mobile setup. Maybe it's a tree climber. Maybe it's a hang-on tree stand, a lightweight hang-on tree stand. Maybe it's some of the saddles that are out there. At least those options allow you to use the element of surprise to get into a new location and hunt new spots and ultimately catch the deer by surprise. And if you take each one of these steps, guys, and you apply them to your hunting strategy, let's say you're only doing one of the three, two of the three, implement the last one, and I will guarantee you that you have a lot more success this fall, guys. So play the wind on your axis routes, and don't overhunt your stands. So if you guys are liking the videos that you're seeing, feel free to like and subscribe. We're always doing giveaways for you guys. And right now we're probably doing a big giveaway if I had to guess as well. So make sure you like and subscribe if you like what you're hearing. Throw some comments below, and we'll see you on the next one.